wasn't going to video this. I thought it'd be pretty easy. Spark plug wires, which I have those off, laying up there. I just labeled them so I knew what went back, but they've always been a mess. I did the pre-length ones. I never got them looking right. So I bought these pieces here, which I got tape because I'm about to cut this sucker. So I bought these guys from Summit. I was going to try to make them look nice. Got some, excuse the mess, my dad's working on his Jeep, but got some wires here. Gonna cut them to length and crimp them that way it looks nice. But this will not fit even close. If you run this, like the spark plug probably needs to come, the wire needs to come out of here. It'll run right into my header. So I'm gonna cut these, turn into quite a project. I got this taped up. I'm gonna cut these guys. But if I lay it in there, it's just hard to do like that, but it hits on the firewall. Can't even really get it where I want to put it right now. Let's see. Anyways, hitting on the firewall in the back, and then here you can see that's going to run right into that spark plug. So I'm going to chop the front of it off, chop the back of it off, put some tape on it so hopefully I don't scratch it up too bad, and see what I can do. Hopefully make them look halfway decent. So when I go to a truck show, I'm not so embarrassed about my ugly. I'll admit, look at that. Look how ugly that is. But you know what? Made it work. So worked for a long time trying to clean it up. Finally finished the vintage air. I say finished. I put a belt on it, but did not charge it. Hopefully next week my buddy's supposed to help me out with that. And I had to get a different bracket. This is one I found online. I had to make some stuff work to grind it, fit the water pumps. I couldn't get it to fit. The brackets that I got from Vintage Air won't work with the Headman headers, the way this pipe comes up and goes over. So I was kind of dealing with that. But I made this one work. I forget where I got it from. If somebody really needs to know, I can probably find it. But that works with the Vintage Air with all the other original stuff. Got different belts, but hey, whatever. Anyways, that's it. We'll see what we can do. Well, we got it cut. It's obviously cut square. I have to file it down. Maybe get my Dremel or something to make it look nice. Well, I just want to see if it'll do what we want, and if we will, or if it will, I'll try to make it look pretty. Let's see. Looks pretty close. Should be able to make that turn down. So we'll go ahead and clean that up and see if we can't make something work. All right, got the first one cut and installed, just half of it, obviously the bottom half, to make sure if you see it in there, but it's laying in there, should work. So now we'll go ahead and get the wires, which are over here. I'll lay them in there where they're gonna go. We'll mark them, bring them out, cut them, crimp them, put them back in, put the top piece on, and the one side will be done. Have to do the same to the other side. I'm assuming it's gonna be the same situation, so I'll just keep that same measurement, cut the same length, and get that down there. Got a couple other little things I'm gonna do to the truck. Still got the little cover on it. Those things are good if anybody wants a dust cover. Little clear plastic covers, man. That thing's like no dust on it, like I just washed it. So, but I'm gonna go check out some junk. We just finally found a blazer top. So a friend of mine, Thomas, on Instagram, got a top from him. So we'll go check that out. Hopefully I'll start getting back into it. I've got the 72 Cheyenne that we're doing. I need to get back on. I'm going to finish that. And then the 72 frame, 70 body truck that's over here that we need to finish, that's been sitting forever. So finish those two, then start back on the Blazer. This guy's pretty much done, just fine tuning. Hopefully get the Vintage Air charged this week in time for C10 intervention the following weekend. So we'll cruise up there. It's about 4.5 hours. So we'll go check that out. Maybe I'll take some video. I haven't videoed anything. I've just been living life. I moved. Been dealing with that. That was a lot of work. So, but here we are. We'll we love these old trucks, so we'll keep working on them. So here's the top I just got from Thomas. It's pretty clean. I don't have a hatch for it. Well, I have a hatch, but it's really rough, so might end up getting one from him if he decides to let one go. But this is it. It should do the job. Well, I do have a hatch in the hardware and all the stuff, but the hatch is really bad. The bottom's busted. I'll have to show that in another video. But so there it is. So the last finishing piece, the only really piece I didn't have for the Blazer to finish it. So, oh, and then in other news, I got a new trailer. So I finally got something I've been wanting to for a long time. Didn't want to spend the money. I should have a long time ago, because now they're way more because of metal prices. But I got one with the drive over fenders. That way the green truck with the super swampers, I don't have to take them off or do some weird stuff. So I just drive over those fenders, pull it right on there. It's pretty easy. It's, I think it's, what is it, 8.5 wide, 20-foot long deck. So should do what I need. I have plans to put a winch on the front. I'm going to put a receiver mount here in the middle. So put a receiver mount there, somewhere right there. And I have the piece where the winch mounts on a receiver. You can slide it in and out. That way I can use it on another truck or on a trailer. That way it's just, because we have another trailer here that's a little small one. This is a little normal width, and then 16 foot. So it doesn't work for everything. But I'm gonna put a receiver on that one too. That way if I want a winch on this one, I can, or that one, vice versa, I can swap it around. Put a little box up here with a battery, keep my straps and chains and stuff. But that's the top. It's pretty clean, man. Should look nice on the Blazer. So pretty excited. He gave me a good deal on it, and I'm happy to be able to get it. Since we're on the topic of junk, here's some square body junk. Two-wheel drive, C20, K20. This one's so rusted. Too rusted to use as far as the body goes, but drivetrain's still good. Does have the old big hubs on it. The big hub 44. Cool little flatbed. And then this is my cousin's truck. Well, 74 k10, but he has another frame that he's building. He's got it all done up, lifted and everything. So I ended up buying the frame and the bed from him. So we have to take this cab off. He's taking the cab, then the rest of it. So the short bed frame and the bed are staying here because he has another bed for it. Well, he's building one from a new one. Those parts are his. So I have to do something with a little. It's sitting funny because it has a body lift, but they pulled part of the body lift off, but not all of it. So that's why it's sitting funny. And here's a pride and joy. Need to do something with it. So hopefully here next couple months we'll get after this. This thing has so many parts in it, it's not even funny. All kind of stuff. So, and then this is just a porch truck. You know, you need something, you come grab it off there. So, good to have for that. But other than that, I'm not doing anything with it. Cool little headache rack. I need to put that on something. That came off one of the trucks we bought, but just thought I'd show real quick how I'm crimping these. So here's a wire. I laid it where I wanted to go, cut it to length basically. So that's a length I want. Here's my mark for the length. This is a little tool they gave me. So I want to slide it in there. This is a stripping portion, so I'm going to take a razor blade, set it here, push it down, spin this wire around, and then cut that insulation off. And then I'll crimp it with the same tool. This part goes in the vise, so there's another piece that goes on top. And I'll take this guy, put it on there, wrap the conductor back. I'll show you that. Lay it in here like that, and then pinch these a little bit with a needle nose, put it in this here, and then stick it in the vise, clamp it down, and then she's good to go. And then I've just been checking it with my meter, making sure. I mean, you're gonna have resistance because it's spark plug wires, but making sure that it's decent resistance for what these are per foot. So, but pretty easy. I haven't messed with this before. Usually I buy the pre-done ones, but I don't know. It's too hard to get them to the length I want. It seems like when I do that, it's just a mess, like a tangled mess of wires, because it doesn't matter what way. Maybe somebody knows a good way, but every time I route them, it doesn't work out well. Like I said, just threw a razor blade in there, spun that around. I'm gonna work it off here, and they say when you pull it off to spin counterclockwise. So I don't know if that's how much that matters, but that's what I'm gonna do. You can see that guy stripped there. I don't need this anymore. Might be a little long, but this is gonna sit in there like that, This is just going to fold back basically like that. So that's going to fold back and leave a little gap. And then this is going to lay on there like so. I might put a little, change that a little bit, but I might cut it down so it doesn't hang out the back. But like that. Set that guy in there. Pinch these with the needle nose. Like I said, I'm going to trim just a little bit off the end of that. Just a little bit. And I mean, they're long enough so it shouldn't be too much. I have been kind of going with the orientation. Okay, the plug wire is going to go here. It's going to land here on the coil, and putting it, you know, crimping it accordingly. That way it's not, you know, twisting. I'm not, when I put it, it's going to lay how it wants to lay, or how I want it to lay, basically. So I have been doing that. So this is going to come right here, go around. I remember where it's going to go on the coil. So let's see, like that. So I'm going to lay that over like this on top, and then crimp it there. And this crimp tool came with these. I know you can get the stripping tool, different crimping tools, but I don't do this a lot, so should be just fine for what I want to do. Like I said, I got it started. I'm going to kind of start it because that way it holds it and it gets it. I get it where I want it, and it will go in the crimping tool actually. Okay. So there's two pieces to this. This is the one piece. There's another piece that's going to crimp on top of it. So now I found the other piece. Here's the crimper. So here's the two pieces here. Say go like this. It has these lips, so kind of hold it in the vise. So it's going to go in the vise like that, and then you can see where it's going to crimp it right there. So I'm going to put this guy in like so on this side. A little tight, but you can get it in there. Put her in there like so. Okay. Then I've been lining, like I said, I've been lining these lips up because it kind of holds it in the vise. So you can see what it's going to do. It's going to crimp that guy down. Then I'm going to throw her in the vise. And they say don't go too hard, so I've just been kind of watching it, looking like, okay, that, you know, kind of eyeballing it, so that looks like it's crimped all the way. So, you know, going from there. I'm not an expert on these crimps. Like I said, I've never done it before, but it was saying in the instructions you can go too much, so I think that's good. You can see it's crimped. So we'll pull it out. Has been kind of a bear to get out a couple times. I don't know if that's just this tool or what, but I've been using the screwdriver and just kind of popping it out. I don't want to pull on it, but it looks like it's pretty solid, crimped. You see the crimp on the back, and then I've just been sliding the boot on, which can be a pain. You can use a lube if you got some grease on there, but they've been going okay. I've just been kind of muscling them on. I say that was going okay, but this one's not. Okay, so I got the boot on. Took a little muscle. You can see it in there. It's hard to see. There's the end of it. I may need to push it a little bit more, but it's pretty close. So there's our little shorty. This is for number 1 cylinder. So we're going to throw it in there, and it's the same process on all of them. It's not that hard. It's pretty dang easy, really. These plug wires weren't too expensive, and they came with the tool. Seems like the way to go instead of buying a pre-made, just because if you have the time, I mean, you can make them look a lot nicer. Because mine were a jumbled mess with all they give you the different lengths, but they never seem to be right for me. And I've used a few of the pre-made sets, and just haven't really liked them. So we'll see how these work. I did do one side. The passenger side is done, and I fired a truck up just to. I checked the wires already, but I said, screw it, I'm going to fire it up. So I fired it up just to make sure that they were going to work. So, and it fired up, sounded normal. So we'll continue, get these 4 on, and show you the finished product. That was a mistake. Put a little dielectric grease when you put the boot on. 1,000 times easier, way easier. So I'll definitely put a little dab of something on there, just a drop, and slides on like butter. You ever do a project and think, why did I even do that? Because I'm kind of what happened on this one. Turned out okay, but there are some things that kind of end up being funky with the kit itself. It was the Summit Racing, whatever this part number is, SUM 440322, Summit Racing, aluminum ball milled 79 millimeter wire loom set. So that's it. It was okay, but I think mixing the aftermarket stuff and the stock stuff, and it didn't really fit with the dipstick and it being a manual. So passenger side, I kept a cut. I had to cut like an inch off the back. I forget how much, but so much off the back, so much off the front to fit. And then the drivers, I had to do a little bit more than that, which I'll show you. So here on the driver's side, I cut the front because otherwise this plug wire would go right into the, yeah, I moved it as far as back as I could on the brackets. It would have went right into the header. And then, so the next two were okay. And then the back, I actually had to notch that out, which it looks, I don't know, it doesn't look that, I don't know why. Yeah, there you go. You notch that out. And then the fourth wire actually cut the whole thing off. So there is no fourth. I mean, there's a fourth wire on it. It comes up below and runs around the distributor, but I actually cut that whole thing off because it was messing, it was going to hit the shift linkage. It was right there. So if you got a manual, maybe if you had it's not going to work very well. If you have an automatic, maybe it'll work a little better. But anyways, I mean, I did it, but it didn't turn out as good as I wanted, but it'll work, you know. Old truck, so I'll do the job. One last thing, I didn't talk about the firing order or anything. I did it kind of the dumb way. Well, not the dumb way. It was a running truck. I had wires on, so I labeled them, you know, 1357, 2468 as I took them off. And I pulled them, labeled each one with painter's tape, marked it on there, pulled all the plugs off, put my new wires on, marked them as well, 2468, 1357, like that, and just laid them in where I wanted them. And one went to the old one, two went to the old two, etc. Marked them, you know, cut them, crimped them, then put them back on. So I didn't have to, you know, mess with that. Obviously, if you're starting with a new engine, you're gonna have to check that out. But this was just a dumb way because it was easier and it was already running engine. But just want to say that. Well, I guess this would be the moment of truth. Make sure we're in neutral. Well, I guess I put them back in the right spot. So that's what I ended up with. Had to cut it off, but man, it looks a lot cleaner. This side's better because I didn't really have to modify it as much. Still cut the back of it off, and the front put one little cheapness there, little floor, I don't know what you call it. The old clamps I had on there, put one there. She's running. Gotta get all cleaned up. It's all dusty. Hey, AC belt's working. Just need to get that puppy charged. C10 intervention next weekend. We'll be there. Should be fun. That's it. Quick little install. The bench is a mess on my junk, but that's it. There's the old short bed, 71 original short bed that I don't know. I guess we'll get to it someday. It's got the Dirty Dingo's cross member still in there. Transfer case for it is over here. The advanced adapter setup. Man, this shop's a mess. It's my next order business. My dad's been working on his Jeep, so it was my Jeep, but I sold it to him. I got too many cars and he wanted one for hunting, so we will weld it on that. That's a cab for the short bed. Pretty clean, solid cab. And then this is this junker over here. Probably should turn that truck off so I don't die, but I'll be alright. I got the doors open. Need to put the bed back on this guy. Finish, he was sanding down. I think he's gonna paint the white, but should be cool. Fixed a little bit of rust in here. Had a little bit of rust up there. He put a little bit of filler, but we welded that first. A little sound deadener helps a little bit. Well, I don't know. We do that one soon. too much junk. But anyway, quick little spark plug install. Those holders from Summit are okay, I guess, but they didn't really. I'll show you the part number right now if anybody wants to know what it is. I got the box right here somewhere. But she's running. I guess I should shut that thing off, but that's what it is. I mean, it worked. Just that one side. I mean, maybe if you didn't have a manual, it wouldn't be as big of a deal. But, or if you're doing something more custom, but trying to use some custom stuff and some stock stuff, it just didn't really jive that well. Get back in gear so it didn't roll anywhere. But I mean, they're cool. So, all right. Well, thanks, guys. Take it easy. We'll catch you on the next one. Hopefully, we'll be working on some more stuff here lately. And anybody that's going to C10 Intervention, come say hi. Like to come check out everybody's truck. So, all right, take it easy.